hearing in Washington, D.C. ends today without a judge's ruling. Eamon Javers at the courthouse or in the Bureau was at the courthouse all day today. Eamon, what do we know? Where do we stand?
Yeah, Brian, the reason I'm back in the Bureau is because the hearing is over now. We saw that all the participants, including the top lawyers, departing the courthouse this afternoon. And what they didn't get was any ruling from the judge on this question of a preliminary injunction or not. What the Lisa Cook team was looking for was a very quick injunction from the judge suggesting that the effort by the Trump administration to fire her needs to come to a stop. They didn't get that today. Not clear whether they'll get that next week, as you see Abby Lowell there, her lawyer, leaving and entering his vehicle. There was a fascinating debate about what it means to fire someone for cause or not for cause. There was also a debate, Brian, about this question of pretext, right? There's been this argument that the president is just using the mortgage issue around Cook as a pretext to fire her. He doesn't really mean it. And the judge said she's uncomfortable with that argument. And you heard from the Department of Justice's attorneys a defense on that, which was basically this. Look, you can't really argue pretext because you can't test it. You know, he said, what are we going to do? We're going to bring the president in, depose him, and ask him if he really meant it or not? I mean, there's no way to really adjudicate for the court whether this explanation for the cause for the firing is a pretext or is the actual reason. And so you have to look at it on the merits. And so that was one issue. And then there was another issue of this question of due process, right? Whether Cook had enough notice in an official capacity and an opportunity to respond to be fair to her in this process. And what the Department of Justice argued was the president put it out on social media. It was out there for the whole world to see. And then 5 days later, she was fired. So therefore, she had plenty of time. Abby Lowell, her lawyer, said, well, wait a second. President Pulte put out the initial allegation on social media, and then 30 minutes later, the president said, I think that she should resign, and if she doesn't resign, I'm going to fire her. Therefore, she didn't have enough time to respond. So all those questions now weighing on the judge as she goes into the weekend to think about this. We may get some more filings and some more action on Tuesday. But for now, Cook's status on the Fed is unresolved by this court, Brian.